water.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak in today's debate. This debate is important because it's about the future of our trade in goods and often the services associated with them, a matter on which I spoke as well in a recent debate in this House. Madam Deputy Speaker, the government has shown that it is not capable of reaching a decision in the national interest, and that what we are set to receive in the next few weeks will be a fudge between the Prime Minister's warring cabinet factions. So it's time to trust Parliament to address these complex matters together and to give Parliament all the information it needs, and I support the motion in front of us today. Now we hear, Madam Deputy Speaker, from those who criticise the EU that we need to escape its bureaucracy and red tape. Yet the irony is of the government's two customs proposals is that they will lead to more barriers and more delays than we currently experience with the customs union. So let me lay out some key points on this. First, on the customs partnership. It could undermine the tariff systems of both the UK and the EU, and it would require us to track the movement of every good imported into the UK for which the UK and the EU did not have identical tariffs and quotas. This surveillance could multiply exponentially over time. The Sussex Trade Observatory has said that it would be very hard to see how this could work, and even the government's own HMRC are reported to believe that this proposal is unviable. Secondly, the MaxVac option. Put simply, it would in the end require some infrastructure on the Irish border, which the government itself ruled out in the joint report in December, and which the EU would be unwilling to revisit. Perhaps the worst aspect of this, though, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that if both of the government's proposals worked perfectly, neither could actually be in place by the time we need them. After the government eventually makes a decision, it would reportedly take up to 3 to 5 years for these systems to be up and running. That is likely to take us between 1 and 3 years past the end of our transition period. So the choice is very simple, but it is a choice the Prime Minister is refusing to make. We either stay in the customs union or we impose unnecessary barriers and costs on British businesses and infrastructure at the Irish border. I will give way.
I thank the honourable member for giving way. It isn't just talking about infrastructure at the border as if there is one checkpoint. There are over 270 crossings of this border, and during the Troubles many of them were blocked by boulders and people had to detour 20 or 30 miles. We cannot send the people who live near the border in Northern Ireland back to that situation.
The honourable member is absolutely right, and I believe that the number of crossings is more than the rest of the EU put together, so I think that's a reality check on what's actually possible. But if I can also take the opportunity to look at the practicalities of what those barriers and costs will mean through two real-world examples, aerospace and medicines. The UK aerospace industry is a global success story, attracting significant investment, including in my constituency, like Boeing's Feltham-based Parts Distribution Centre, the largest such centre in Europe. It relies on complex and globally integrated supply chains. Hundreds of aerospace parts currently flow back and forth daily across the borders to and from the EU, being integrated into new aircraft or being used to support in-service fleets. This just-in-time demands of the aerospace industry requires quick and predictable border processes so that parts can reach and repairs be done in hours. Maintaining the speed for aerospace goods post-Brexit is absolutely vital. On medicines as well, the Proprietary Association of Great Britain, the industry body for consumer medicines we know and use, such as Beecham's, Calpol and others, have said the customs union is crucial to minimise the additional time and administrative burden at the border. Ingredients for the products that we use daily can cross the UK border up to 4 times in the manufacturing process. And we know that this debate, Madam Deputy Speaker, that we're having is taking place in the absence of any credible evidence to suggest that leaving the customs union will be a net benefit to the UK. So it's time, Madam Deputy Speaker, to recognise this isn't an academic debate that will have no consequences, but a serious debate, the consequences of which could cost us billions and impact jobs and prosperity for decades to come.
Chris Green.